Hi. Yeah.
No sound coming through at the moment, honey Ann, if you can hear me.
You got
Not really.
that's bizarre.
No, still not getting sound through.
Okay. Let's see. Alright, let me try. Let's see.
No, still not getting sound through.
What about now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Okay. Well, I had to plug in my headphones. Sorry about that. Okay. I
Yeah,
said,
it's just mixing between headphones and the live stream to see which one was louder.
uh-huh. Okay. All right. Well, I'm fixing to read the Gospel of Thomas. If I can get through the whole thing. I mean, it's not really that long. If you want to chill with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I had downloaded let's see, this right here. It's
Yeah, just
forbidden books of the original New Testament. And I'm gonna try to read those two sometime. Um the books that are in it are, let's see, they were holy scriptures, but they were just taken out. But it's like the infancy gospel, and I believe, let's see, okay, it's ancient holy scriptures. Let's see, it's got uh, I know it's the infancy gospels, and I think the birth of Mary. It's got a few in there, but anyway, I'm not gonna do that today, but sometime I'm gonna try to read that. It's like 222 pages, 444 actually, but it was like 222 to download. Anyway, anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and start reading on this because I've got a busy day.
yeah.
Okay, all right. This is translated by Thomas O. Lambden. It says, "These are the secret sayings which the living Jesus spoke, which Didymus Judas Thomas wrote down." Okay. And he said, "Whoever finds the interpretation of these sayings will not experience death." Jesus said, "Let him who seeks continue seeking until he finds. When he finds, he will become troubled. When he becomes troubled, he will be astonished, and he will rule over the all." Jesus said, "If those who lead you say to you, 'See, the kingdom is in the sky,' then the birds of the sky will precede you. If they say to you, 'It is in the sea,' then the fish will precede you. Rather, the kingdom is inside of you, and it is outside of you. When you come to know yourselves, then you will become known, and you will realize that it is you who are the sons of the living Father. But if you will not know yourselves, you dwell in poverty, and it is you who are that poverty." Jesus said, "The man old in days will not hesitate to ask a small child 7 days old about the place of life, and he will live. For many who are first will become last, and they will become one in the same." Jesus said, "Recognize what is in your sight, and that which is hidden from you, and you will become plain to you. Excuse me, which is hidden from you will become plain to you. For there is nothing hidden which will not become manifest." His disciples questioned him and said to him, "Do you want us to fast?" How shall we pray? Shall we give alms? What diet shall we observe? And Jesus said, Do not tell lies, and do not do what you hate, for all things are plain in the sight of heaven. For nothing hidden will not become manifest, and nothing covered will remain without being uncovered. Jesus said, Blessed is the lion which becomes man when consumed by man, and cursed is the man whom the lion consumes, and the lion becomes man. And he said, The man is like a wise fisherman who casts his net into the sea, and draw it up from the sea full of small fish. Among them the wise fisherman found a fine large fish. He threw all the small fish back into the sea, and chose the large fish without difficulty. Whoever has ears to hear, let him hear. Jesus said, Now the sower went out, took a handful of seeds, and scattered them. Some fell on the road. The birds came and gathered them up. Others fell on the rock, did not take root in the soil, but did not produce ears. And others fell on thorns. They choked the seeds, and the worms ate them. And others fell on the good soil, and it produced good fruit. It bore 60 per measure and 120 per measure. Jesus said, I have cast fire upon the world, and see, I am guarding it until it blazes. Jesus said, This heaven will pass away, and the one above it will pass away. The dead are not alive, and the living will not die. In the days when you consumed what is dead, you made it what is alive. When you come to dwell in the light, what will you do? On the day when you were one, you became two. But when you became two, that what what will you do? The disciples said to Jesus, We know that you will depart from us. Who is to be our leader? Jesus said to them, Wherever you are to go to James the righteous, for whose sake heaven and earth came into being. Jesus said to his disciples, Compare me to someone and tell me whom I am like. Simon Peter said to him, You are like a righteous angel. Matthew said to him, You are like a wise philosopher. Thomas said to him, Master, my mouth is wholly incapable of saying whom you are like. Jesus said, I am not your master, because you have drunk. You have become intoxicated from the bubbling spring which I have measured out. And he took him and withdrew and told him 3 things. When Thomas returned to his companions, they asked him, What did Jesus say to you? Thomas said to them, If I tell you one of the things which he told me, you will pick up stones and throw them at me. A fire will come out of the stones and burn you up. Wow. Jesus said to them, If you fast, and you will give rise to sin for yourselves, and if you pray, you will be condemned, and if you give alms, you will do harm to your spirits. When you go into any land and walk about in the districts, if they receive you, eat what they will set before you, and heal the sick among them. For what goes into your mouth will not defile you, but that which issues from your mouth, it is that which will defile you. Amen. Jesus said, When you see one who was not born of woman, prostrate yourselves on your faces and worship him. That one is your Father. Wow. Jesus said, Men think perhaps that it is peace which I have come to cast upon the world. they do not know that it is dissension which I have come to cast upon the earth, fire, sword, and war. For there will be 5 in a house, 3 will be against 2, and 2 against 3. The Father against the Son, and the Son against the Father. Okay. Okay. Jesus said, I shall give you what no eye has seen, and what no ear has heard, and what no hand has touched, and what has never occurred to the human mind. The disciples said to Jesus, tell us how our end will be. Jesus said, have you discovered the beginning, that you look for the end? For where the beginning is, there will the end be. Blessed is he who will take his place in the beginning. He will know the end and will not experience death. Jesus said, blessed is he who came into being before he came into being. If you become my disciples and listen to my words, these stones will minister to you. For there are 5 trees for you in paradise, which remain undisturbed summer and winter, and whose leaves do not fall. Whoever comes acquainted with them will not experience death. The disciples said to Jesus, tell us what the kingdom of heaven is like. He said to them, it is like a mustard seed. It is the smallest of all seeds, but when it falls on tilled soil, it produces a great plant and becomes a shelter for birds of the sky. Mary said to Jesus, whom are your disciples like? He said, they are like children who have settled in a field which is not theirs. When the owners of the field come, they will say, let us have back our field. And they will undress in their presence in order to let them have back their field and to give it back to them. Therefore I say, if the owner of a house knows that the thief is coming, he will begin his vigil before he comes and will not let him dig through into his house of his domain to carry away his goods. You, then, be on your guard against the world. Arm yourselves with great strength, lest the robbers find a way to come to you. For the difficulty which you expect will surely materialize. Let there be among you a man of understanding. When the grain ripened, he came quickly with his sickle in his hand and reaped it. Whoever has ears to hear, let him hear. Jesus said, infants being suckled, he said to his disciples, these infants being suckled are like those who enter the kingdom. They said to him, shall we then as children enter the kingdom? Jesus said to them, when you make the two one, and when you make the inside like the outside, and the outside like the inside, and the above like the below, and when you make the male and the female one and the same, so that the male not be nor the female, and when you fashion eyes in the place of an eye, and a hand in the place of a hand, and a foot in the place of a foot, and a likeness in the place of a likeness, then you will enter the kingdom. Jesus said, I, I shall choose you 1 out of 1,000, and 2 out of 10,000, and they shall stand as a single one. His disciples said unto him, show us the place where you are, since it is necessary. Okay. He said to them, whoever has ears to hear, let him hear. There is light within a man of light, and he lights up the whole world. If he does not shine, he is darkness. Jesus said, I love you, brother, like your soul. Guard him like a pupil of your eye. Jesus said, you see the more in your brother's eye, but you do not see the beam in your own eye. Excuse me. Let me redo that. Jesus said, you see the mote in your brother's eye, but you do not see the beam in your own eye. When you cast the beam out of your own eye, then you will see clearly to cast the mote from your brother's eye. Jesus said, if you do not fast as regards the world, you will not find the kingdom. If you do not observe the Sabbath as a Sabbath, you will not see the Father. Jesus said, I took my place in the midst of the world, and I appeared to them in flesh. I found all of them intoxicated, and I found none of them thirsty. And my soul became afflicted for the sons of men, because they are blind in their hearts and do not have sight. For empty they came into the world, and empty do they seek to leave the world. But in the moment they are intoxicated, when they shake off their wine, they will repent. Jesus said, if the flesh came into being because of spirit, it is a wonder. But if spirit came into being because of the body, it is a wonder of wonders indeed. I am amazed at how this great wealth has made its home in this poverty. Jesus said, where there are three gods, they are gods. Where there are two or one, I am with him. Jesus said, no prophet is accepted in his own village. No physician heals those who know him. Jesus said, a city being built on a high mountain and fortified cannot fall, nor can it be hidden. Jesus said, preach from your housetops that which you will hear in your ear. For no one lights a lamp and puts it under a bushel, nor does he put it in a hidden place, but rather he sets in on a lampstand so that everyone who enters and leaves will see the light. Good morning, Luchawa. Jesus said, if a blind man leads a blind man, they will both fall into a pit. Jesus said, it is not impossible for anyone to enter the house of a strong man and take it by force unless he binds his hands. Then he will be able to ransack his house. Jesus said, do not be concerned from morning until evening, from evening until morning about what you will hear, or excuse me, what you will wear. His disciples said, when you become revealed to us, and when shall we see you? Okay. Jesus said, when you disrobe without being ashamed and take up your garments and place them under your feet like little children and thread on them, then you will see the Son of the Living One, and you will not be afraid. Jesus said, many times have you desired to hear these words which I am saying to you, and you have no one else to hear them from. There will be days when you will look for me and will not find me. Jesus said, the Pharisees and the scribes have taken the keys of knowledge and hidden them. They themselves have not entered, nor have they allowed to enter those who wish to. You, however, be as wise as serpents and as innocent as doves. Jesus said, a grapevine has been planted outside of the Father, but being unsound, it will be pulled up by its roots and destroyed. Jesus said, whoever has something in his hand will receive more, and whoever has nothing will be deprived of even the little he has. Jesus said, become passers-by. His disciples said to him, who are you, that you should say these things to us? And Jesus said to them, you do not realize who I am from what I say to you, but you have become like the Jews, for they either love the tree and hate its fruit, or love the fruit and hate the tree. Jesus said, whoever blasphemes against the Father will be forgiven, and whoever blasphemes against the Son will be forgiven. But whoever blasphemes against the Holy Spirit will not be forgiven, either on earth or in heaven. Jesus said, grapes are not harvested from thorns, nor are figs gathered from thistles, for they do not produce fruit. A good man brings forth good from his storehouse. An evil man brings forth evil things from his evil storehouse, which is in his heart, and says evil things. For out of the abundance of the heart he brings forth evil things. Jesus said, among those born of women, from Adam until John the Baptist, there is no one so superior to John the Baptist that his eyes should not be lowered before him. Yet I have said, whichever one of you comes to be a child will be acquainted with the kingdom and will become superior to John. Jesus said, it is impossible for a man to mount 2 horses or to stretch 2 bows, and it is impossible for a servant to serve 2 masters, otherwise he will honor the one and treat the other contemptuously. No man drinks old wine and immediately desires to drink new wine, and new wine is not put into old wineskins, lest they burst, nor is old wine put into new wineskin, lest it spoil it. And the old patch is not sewn unto a new. I don't know the rest of it. Ouch. That felt good. Thank you. Well, wake up. Jesus said, if two make peace with each other in this one house, they will say to the mountain, move away, and it will move away. Jesus said, blessed are the solitary and the elect, for you will find the kingdom. For you are from it, and to it you will return. Jesus said, if they say to you, where did you come from? I love this one right here. It's verse 50. Jesus said, if they say to you, where do you come from? Say to them, we came from the light, the place where the light came into being on its own accord and established itself and became manifest through their image. And if they say to you, is it you? Say, we are its children, and we are the elect of the living Father. And if they ask you, what is the sign of your Father in you? Then you say to them, it is movement and repose. That's my favorite one in this gospel.
I'm trying to think. I'm thinking of the next one.
51. His disciples,
Yeah, yeah. Hold
His,
on. His disciples said to him, "When will the rest for the dead take place, and when will the new world come?" He said to them, "What you are looking forward to has come, but you don't know it."
yeah,
Was that correct?
very close to what I have. Here's what I have. His disciples said to him, when will the repose of the dead come about? And when will the new world come? He said to them, what you look forward to has already come, but you do not recognize it. Yours is just modernized English. Do you have Thomas in front of you? You can read the If you want to.
No, it's
Okay.
not in front of me. That was like me trying to remember it from when I read it.
Okay. Well, you had it almost
That's about all I
perfect.
can remember.
Yeah, 50 is my favorite though. I just love the words, where it says, well, what is the sign of your Father in you? You say to them, it is movement and repose. That's awesome. Mhm. I'm almost done. Let's see, I've got just a few more. Let's see, how many are in here? There's let's see here. Well, actually, there's like 114, and I'm on
52 now.
52. Yeah, 52. Yeah, I wasn't calling out the verses. I was just reading them. Okay.
I was thinking this sounds familiar. Then I was scratching my head for about 5 minutes trying to figure out where from.
Uh-huh.
I was thinking, oh yeah, I read this like last year.
Uh-huh. Wow. With the Gospel of Thomas?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Um, did you watch this Hide Youth there? Yeah, I really like Thomas. Like I said, I have a bunch of them, but this one was like the shortest one, so I figured I could get through it fast enough for me to get out of here and get ready to go. Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking for it at the moment so I can look it up, but I can't find it.
What I think I just typed in the Gospel of Thomas and it popped up the PDF, and then I downloaded it. I printed it off. Okay. His disciples, I Googled it. His disciples said to him, 24 prophets spoke in Israel, and all of them spoke in you. He said to them, you have omitted the one living in your presence and have spoken only of the dead. His disciples said to him, is circumcision beneficial or not? And he said to them, if it were beneficial, their father would beget them already circumcised from their mother. Rather, the true circumcision in spirit has become completely profitable. 54. Jesus said, blessed are the poor, for yours is the kingdom of heaven. 55. Jesus said, whoever does not hate his father and his mother cannot become a disciple to me. And whoever does not hate his brothers and sisters and take up his cross in my way will not be worthy of me. 56. Jesus said, whoever has come to understand the world has found only a corpse, and whoever has found a corpse is superior to the world. 57. Jesus said, the kingdom of the Father is like a man who had good seed. His enemy came by night and sowed weeds among the good seed. The man did not allow them to pull up the weeds. He said to them, I am afraid that you will go intending to pull up the weeds and pull up the wheat along with them. For on the day of the harvest, the weeds will be plainly visible and they will be pulled up and burned. Jesus said, blessed is the man who has suffered and found life. Okay. That was 58.
59. Jesus said, look to the living one as long as you live, otherwise you might die, and then try to see the living one, and you will be unable to see.
Okay.
Yeah, I found it now.
Go ahead, help yourself.
60. He saw a Samaritan carrying a lamb and going to Judea. He said to his disciples, that person around the lamb, they said to him, so that he may kill it and eat it. He said to them, he will not eat it while it is alive, but only after he has killed it and it has become a carcass. They said, otherwise he can't do it. He said to them, so also with you, seek for yourselves a place for rest, or you might become a carcass and be eaten. Jesus said, two will recline on a couch. One will die, one will live. Salome said, who are you, mister? You have climbed onto my couch and eaten from my table as if you are from someone. Jesus said to her, I am the one who comes from what is whole. I was granted from the things of my Father. I am your disciple. For this reason I say, if one is whole, one will be filled with light, but if one is divided, one will be filled with darkness. "62. Jesus said, I disclose my mysteries to those who are worthy of my mysteries. Do you want to read a few?
Sure. We're on 63. We're on 63, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Jesus said, there was a rich man who had much money. He said, I shall put my money to use so that I may sow, reap, plant, and fill my storehouse with produce, with the result that I shall lack nothing. Such were his intentions. But that same night he died. Let him who has ears hear. 64. Jesus said, a man had received visitors, and when he had prepared the dinner, he sent his servants to invite the guests. He went to the first one and said to him, my master invites you. He said, I have claims against some merchants. They are coming to me this evening. I must go and give them my orders. I ask to be excused from the dinner. He went to another and said to him, my master has invited you. He said to him, I have just bought a house and am required for the day. I shall not have any spare time. He went to another and said to him, my master invites you. He said to him, my friend is going to get married, and I am to prepare the banquet. I shall not be able to come. I asked to be excused from the dinner. He went to another man and went to another and said to him, my master invites you. And he said to him, I have just bought a farm, and I am on my way to collect the rent. I shall not be able to come. I ask to be excused. The servant returned and said to the master, those whom you invited to the dinner have asked to be excused. The master said to his servant, go outside to the streets and bring back those whom you happen to meet, so they may dine. Okay. Okay, now it's what number am I on? 65. Okay. He said, there was a good man who owned a vineyard. He leased it to a tenant. He leased it to tenant farmers so that they might work it and he might collect the produce from them. He said his servant so that He sent his servant so that the tenants might give him the produce of the vineyard. They seized his servant and beat him, all but killing him. The servant went back and told his master. The master said perhaps he did not recognize him. He sent another servant. The tenants beat this one as well. Then the owner sent his son and said, perhaps they will show respect to my son, because the tenants knew that it was he who was the heir to the vineyard. They seized him and killed him. Let him who has ears hear. Wow. Jesus said, show me the stone which the builder have rejected. That one is the cornerstone. 67. Jesus said, if one who knows the all still feels a personal deficiency, he is completely deficient. 68. Jesus said, blessed are you when you are hated and persecuted. Wherever you have been persecuted, they will find no place. 69. Jesus said, "Blessed are they who have been persecuted within themselves. It is they who have truly come to know the Father. Blessed are the hungry, for the belly of him who desires will be filled." 70. Jesus said, "That which you have will save you if you bring it forth from yourselves. That which you do not have within you will kill you if you do not have it within you." Jesus said, "I shall destroy this house, and no one will be able to build it." 72. A man said to him, "Tell my brothers to divide my father's possessions with me." He said to him, "O man, who has made me a divider?" He turned to his disciples and said to them, "I am not a divider, am I?" 73. Jesus said, "The harvest is great, but the laborers are few. Beseech the Lord, therefore, to send out laborers to the harvest." 74. He said, "O Lord, there are many around the drinking trough, but there is nothing in the cistern." 75. Jesus said, "Many are standing at the door, but it is the solitary who will enter the bridal chamber." 76. Jesus said, "The kingdom of the Father is like a merchant who had a consignment of merchandise and who discovered a pearl. The merchant was shrewd. He sold the merchandise and bought the pearl alone for himself. You too, seek his unfailing and enduring treasure, where no moth comes near to devour and no worm destroys."
Yeah, I can read some now.
Okay.
77. Jesus said, I am the light that is over all things. I am all, from me all come forth, and to me all attained. Split a piece of wood, I am there. Lift up the stone, and you will find me there. 78. Jesus said, Why have you come out to the countryside to see a reed shaken by the wind, and to see a person dressed in soft clothes, like your rulers and your powerful ones? They are dressed in soft clothes, and they cannot understand truth. 79. A woman in the crowd said to him, Lucky are the womb that bore you, and the breasts that fed you. He said to her, Lucky are those who have heard the word of the Father and have truly kept it. For there will be days when you will say, Lucky are the womb that has not conceived, and the breasts that have not given milk. 80. Jesus said, Whoever has come to know the world, has discovered the body, and whoever has discovered the body of that one, the world is not worthy. 81. Jesus said,
Hey,
Let one
Therian,
who
Therian,
has. Yeah.
Therian, wait 1 second. Let me read you my 80 because it sounds so different to yours. Listen. Jesus said, "He who has recognized the world has found the body, but he who has found the body is superior to the world." Okay, go ahead. 81.
Jesus said, Let one who has become wealthy resign, and let one who has power renounce it. 82. Jesus said, Whoever is near me is near the fire, and whoever is far from me is far from the Father's kingdom. 83. Jesus said, Imagine. Wait, hold on a sec. Just need to reload this page. 83. Jesus said, images are visible to people, but the light within them is hidden in the image of the Father's light. He will be disclosed, but his image is hidden by his light.
Yeah, that's very almost the same. That was 83, right?
Yeah.
Okay, listen to this one. Jesus said, the images are manifest to man, but the light in them remains concealed in the image of the light of the Father. He will become manifest, but his image will remain concealed by his light. Okay, go ahead, 84.
Jesus said, when you see your likeness, you are happy, but when you see your images that come into being before you, and that neither die nor become visible, how much will you have to bear? Yeah, that's an odd one,
Yep.
that.
There's a few in here that are quite okay.
Yeah, do
See
you
if
want to
mine.
read a few more?
Yeah, see if mine sounded like yours. Jesus said, when you see your likeness, you rejoice. But when you see your images, which came into being before you, and which neither die not become manifest, how much you will have to bear. It's pretty deep.
I wonder if that one's like referring to the Mandela effect stuff.
I don't know. Okay, 85. Jesus said, Adam came into being from a great power and a great wealth, but he did not become worthy of you. For had he been worthy, he would not have experienced death. 86. Jesus said, the foxes have their holes, and the birds have their nests, but the Son of Man has no place to lay his head and rest. 87. Jesus said, wretched is the body that is dependent upon a body, and wretched is the soul that is dependent on these two. Okay, did I just cut off?
Yeah.
Okay, let me read that again. 87. Jesus said, wretched is the body that is dependent upon the body, and wretched is the soul that is dependent on these two. 88. Jesus said, the angels and the prophets will come to you and give to you those things you already have. And you too give them those things which you have, and say to yourselves, when will they come and take what is theirs? Okay, 89. We're almost done. Jesus said, why do you wash the outside of the cup? Do you not realize that he who made the inside is the same one who made the outside? That's nice. Okay, number 90. Jesus said, come unto me, for my yoke is easy and my lordship is mild, and you will find repose for yourselves. 91. They said to him, tell us who you are, so that we may believe in you. He said to them, you read the face of the sky and of the earth, but you have not recognized the one who is before you, and you do not know how to read this moment. Excuse me. 92. Oh, goodness. Okay. Jesus said, seek and you will find. Yet what you asked me about in former times, and which I did not tell you then, now I do not desire to tell, but you do not inquire after it. 93. Jesus said, "Do not give what is holy to dogs, lest they throw them on the dung heap. Do not throw the pearls to swine, lest they blank it blank." Those two words, I guess, weren't available. 94. Jesus said, he who seeks will find, and he who knocks will be let in. 95. Jesus said, "If you have money, do not lend it at interest, but give it to one from whom you will not get it back." 96. Jesus said, "The kingdom of the Father is like a certain woman. She took a little leaven, concealed it in some dough, and made it into large loaves. Let him who has ears hear." 97. Jesus said, "The kingdom of the Father is like a certain woman who was carrying a jar full of meal. While she was walking on the road, still some distance from home, the handle of the jar broke, and the meal emptied out behind her on the road. She did not realize it, and she had noticed no accident. When she reached her house, she set the jar down and found it empty." 98. Jesus said, "The kingdom of the Father is like a certain man who wanted to kill a powerful man. In his own house, he drew his sword and stuck it into the wall in order to find out whether his hand could carry through. He slew the powerful man." 99. The disciples said to him, "Your brothers and your mother are standing outside." He said to them, "Those here who do the will of my Father are my brothers and my mother. It is they who will enter the kingdom of my Father." 100. They showed Jesus a gold coin and said to him, "Caesar's men demand taxes from us." He said to them, "Give Caesar what belongs to Caesar, give God what belongs to God, and give me what is mine." Okay. Alrighty. Move on. 101. Jesus said, "Whoever does not hate his father and his mother as I do cannot become a disciple to me. And whoever does not love his father and his mother as I do cannot become a disciple to me. For my mother blank, but my true mother gave me life." 102. Jesus said, "Woe to the Pharisees, for they are like a dog sleeping in the manger of oxen. For neither does he eat nor does he let the oxen eat." 103. Jesus said, "Fortunate is the man who knows where the brigands will enter, so that he may get up, muster his domain, and arm himself before they invade." 104. They said to Jesus, "Come, let us pray today, and let us fast." Jesus said, "What is the sin that I have committed, or wherein have I been defeated? But when the bridegroom leaves the bridal chamber, then let them fast and pray." 105. Jesus said, "He who knows the father and the mother will be called the son of a harlot."
Yeah, it says
Mm.
something different here on the one I'm looking at.
What does yours say?
It says 105. Jesus said, "Whoever knows the father and the mother will be called the child of a whore."
Same word. Yeah. The son of a harlot is the child of a whore. Same thing. Okay. 106. Jesus said, when you make the two one, you will become the sons of man, and when you say mountain, move away, it will move away." 107. Jesus said, "The kingdom is like a shepherd who has 100 sheep. One of them, the largest, went astray. He left the 99 sheep and looked for that one until he found it. When he had gone to such trouble, he said to the sheep, 'I care for you more than the 99. 108. Jesus said, He who will drink from my mouth will become like me. I myself shall become he, and the things that are hidden will be revealed to him. 109. Jesus said, the kingdom is like a man who had hidden treasure in his field without knowing it. And after he died, he left it to his son. The son did not know about the treasure. He inherited the field and sold it. And the one who bought it went plowing and found the treasure. He began to lend money and at interest to whoever he wished. 110. Jesus said, whoever finds the world and becomes rich, let him renounce the world. 111. Jesus said, the heavens and the earth will be rolled up in your presence, and the one who lives from the living one will not see death. Does not Jesus say, whoever finds himself is superior to the world? 112. Jesus said, woe to the flesh that depends on the soul. Woe to the soul that depends on the flesh. 113. His disciples said to him, when will the kingdom come? Okay. Jesus said, it will not come by waiting for it. It will not be a matter of saying, there it is, or there it is. Oh, excuse me. It will not be a matter of saying, here it is, or there it is. Rather, the kingdom of the Father is spread out upon the earth, and men do not see it. 114. Simon Peter said to him, let Mary leave us, for women are not worthy of life. Jesus said, I myself shall lead her in order to make her male, so that she too may become a living spirit resembling you males. For every woman who will make herself male will enter the kingdom of heaven. The gospel according to Thomas.
Okay, that
Yeah,
last bit sounded a bit
yeah.
wrong.
Well, if you read it literally, then it would be quite confusing. But if you comprehend the parable of what he's saying, it's very, very comprehensive. Yeah. We make ourselves like man, we make ourselves like just like the rest of mankind. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. And that's the end. I don't think we had anybody on here but Jenny Purty and Doochie Law, but that's cool. Maybe people will get to hear it later. But
Yeah.
verse 50 is the one that always is my favorite. I just love 50. It's pretty awesome. Yep. Sometime or another, what we need to do is get, well, you and I are pretty good readers. We need to come on here and read Enoch sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't, you and I don't stagger that much on words. Yeah. But anyway, we really have to. Do you have access to Enoch?
Might do.
Cool beans.
I can have a look, see if I can find it on here.
Yeah, we got to read it sometime. Right now, I've got to go. I've got to get ready because this morning we're going up to Trader's Village, which is like a big, huge flea market. And then when we get back, I'm supposed to meet with Jenny Purty today. Yay!
Cool.
Yeah. She said she needed to come to Terrell and get Bucky balls for her grandkids. I am very, very curious to know what the heck are Bucky balls. Just saying. The original. Yeah, but what this is that I just barely downloaded, it says here the suppressed gospels and epistles of the original New Testament of Jesus Christ and other portions of the ancient Holy Scriptures, now extant attributed to his apostles and their disciples and venerated by the primitive Christian churches during the first 4 centuries. But since, after violent disputations forbidden by the bishops of the Nicene Council in the reign of the Emperor Constantine, and omitted from the Catholics and Protestant edition of the New Testament by its compilers, translated from the original tongues with historical references to their authenticity by Archbishop Wake and other learned divines. It says the order of all the forbidden books of the New Testament with their proper names and number of chapters. Mary, Protevangelion, Infancy 1 and 2, and then Nicodemus, Christ, and Abgarus, Laodiceans, Paul and Seneca, Acts of Paul, and Thecla 1, Clement 2, Clement Barnabas, Ephesians, Magnesians, Trallians, Romans, Philadelphians, Smyrnians, Polycarp, Philippians, Hermas, Visions 2, and Hermas, Commands 3, Hermas, Similitudes. So that's what these ones here that I just downloaded are. I've never ever heard of them. Never.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
It's interesting how many more books keep appearing, you know, in the Apocrypha.
Yeah. Well, this one right here isn't even considered to be apocryphal. This one here is called Forbidden Books of the Original New Testament. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this is another reason why you can't trust Vatican. They keep hiding stuff.
Well, I know. But this is said to have been read by, the early church. And it was Constantine, It's pretty interesting. Beaver nuggets, not Bucky balls. Excuse me, Jenny. I'm sorry, sweetie. Beaver nuggets, not Bucky balls. I told my husband, Jenny. I told my husband that she wanted Bucky balls, and he's like, Bucky, they sell balls. They sell balls at Bucky's. I said, okay. Well, you mean like little basketballs or footballs? Good morning, KJ. Okay, sweetie, go ahead. All right, you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and go so I can get ready. My grandson just woke up, and so the day begins. I hope whoever heard this feels blessed, and I pray everybody has a wonderful Saturday. And I look forward to seeing you pretty soon, Miss Kitty Cat. Many blessings y'all's way. Bye.
Bye, everyone.